I'm 29 years old.
I thought you were 49.
Buckle up, we're about to deep dive into the psyche of two individuals that are using each other for fame and fortune and everything that the 90 Day Fiancé franchise can bring them. If you haven't seen my recent video I made on Rose and Ed's relationship and both of their YouTube successes and failures, please watch it after this video. It gives you more context into how Ed treats women that he's supposedly in love with. We're not talking about Rosemary Vega in this video because she actually left the toxic relationship she was in with Ed, focused all that time and energy on herself, and became successful on YouTube. Something that Liz chose not to do. She chose to stay in the toxic relationship and use Ed to get to where she wants to go. Little background information on Liz. She used to work at a restaurant that Ed would frequently visit.
I want to ask you out on a date. So we can get to know each other.
Yikers, that's a shift ruiner. I wonder how much she's getting paid for her time. Also, both her and Ed are American, so why are they on the show 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After? The whole premise of this show is an American being in a relationship with a foreigner. I don't even have to spill tea about the situation because Liz did enough of that herself. Liz admits to the audience that her first impression of Ed was that he was a sad, lonely old man because he never brought the same girl to the restaurant, meaning that he kept striking out on these first dates. Liz left some parts out of the story since she wants to remain in Ed's good graces, seeing how they are pretending to be engaged for clout. Too bad she's already told on herself in an interview with John Walters, a British dude from the past seasons on the show. Let's roll the clip of that.
He went through every single female at my job asking if they would do a date with him on the show, and they all said no. So last resort, he asked me, and for 2 months I also said no, to the point where I would go to his house for barbecues, and his best friend and him finally sat me down, and they both were like, can you please just do 1 or 2 dates like on this show, because he couldn't find anybody. So I still said no at this point. Left. We talked about it a little bit more, and I said, sure, okay, fine, I'll do 1 date, maybe 2. That's it.
She just admitted that she was picked last and that scene of Ed asking her out was staged. Now she's pretending like they are in love. Liz then says something very interesting to the audience. Ed let his guard down with me. I got to know Ed and not Big Ed. Right here, she's trying to set the narrative that Ed's personality on the show is a bravado and he's not really like that in real life, which is interesting because every cast member I've talked to on the show has said that their first impression of Ed was that he was an arrogant pervert. And I've seen some of the DMs that he sent to other women while being in a relationship with Liz, so watching her constantly defend him is funny to me. Bro, if you think that's funny, check out what she has to say during this interview about Ed.
The way his look in his eyes, he would scare me. He would even get mad at Teddy because Teddy wanted to lay in the bed with me and not go to the living room with him. I'm not going to release this, but I do have towards the end of our relationship, yeah, I started recording a lot of shit. There's a whole video, and I'm not going to release it, but there's a whole video of him yelling at me while I'm laying on the couch and him saying, he's like, I'm tired of my mom defending you.
Yo, Liz, I know you and Edward are pretending to be engaged or whatever, but can you release the other recording? Because you already released one of them.
You dude, you're
Stop speaking to me like this, Ed. Stop!
For you to even offer to give a coworker a ride home to El Cajon, what the f*** is wrong with you?
Stop! Stop belittling me! I don't deserve this. Stop!
How funny is it that this girl released this recording to make Ed look as bad as possible, and she wanted to get all the sisters, the fellow sisters that have been in toxic relationships on her side, only to get engaged to that same dude. What an L.
I basically broke up with her 8 times via text.
First bit of action-packed cringeness we see regarding Ed and Liz is when they meet up with some of Liz's friends to check out the potential wedding venue.
There's 8 freaking breakups. That's a lot of breakups.
Most of it was my issues. So I felt I had to grow in order to be with her.
This is the 4th season that our eyeballs are bleeding watching Big Ed be cringe, and I think that it's funny because every single season that this guy's on the show, he tries to convince the audience that he's a changed man. Oh, that past version of myself? That doesn't align with who I am now. And let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. We are reviewing this together as a family. I feel like every single time he does the most to convince the audience that he's a changed man, and he never changes.
I love Ed because, yes, we had a really rough patch for a while, but Ed has shown me love in ways that I've never had with any previous relationship. He shows his love for me too with the love that he has for my daughter.
Oh, you're trying to convince us like Ed's a good dad to your daughter when he's not even a good dad to his own daughter.
To sleep with me, and a month and a half later, you're already back on fucking Bumble looking for a new girl. You like just a month ago on your birthday, the day before your birthday, you were in Mexico talking drunkenly how you want an Asian woman with a yoga butt. You have not had enough therapy for you to be back on Bumble. I got no happy Mother's Day. I got no happy birthday. I have a screenshot of me sending him a text message on his birthday telling him happy birthday. I was blocked. I had a screenshot of me telling, hey, I see you got a new haircut. Good for you. I was blocked. And I don't know if you've seen, but I did share a screenshot of me. People ask, did he just use you for fame? And there's a screenshot going around of where it proves that he just said, I'm just a monkey playing for my fans. I'm a reality TV star, and it makes me a lot of money.
And I think that was the biggest thing that made me fall in love with Ed.
Well, when you put it that way, who wouldn't fall in love with the guy?
The announcement of our engagement didn't quite go as expected. My daughter, she was naturally shocked and upset.
She called everybody before he
Before I had an opportunity
called people.
to tell my brothers, my buddy Rich, my ex-buddy Rich.
Rich was the realest dude in this guy's corner. If I'm lying, I'm dying. I've never seen Rich give Ed bad advice. In fact, in my last video that I made on Ed and Rose, throughout their entire relationship, Rich gave really great advice to Ed and said that you need to be honest with this girl about your intentions. It's just that Ed chose not to tell her the truth.
They just don't understand that the person sitting next to me is my future. This is who I want. And that's the conversation I'm getting ready to have with Rich. I'm like, look, I thought you were my friend.
And you can just have the final words to tell Ed anything you wanna say to him.
Final words, since you thought it was appropriate to sleep with me after the tell-all bullshitted me, fake crush, ghosted me. I don't think you deserve another show. I do believe everything that everybody had warned me about you. You're a narcissist, you're a conditioner, you're a groomer. I feel sorry for your sexual assault victim because now I do believe her. You're not a good person. Your friends enable your behavior, and you definitely used me. And everything that I spoke about in this, you know damn well that I have proof to back it up. And I don't care if I were to ever be on TV again. It is not worth anything that you put me through. So
The end. After Liz and I got back together, a lot of my friends and family didn't understand why.
As you can clearly see, when they broke up, this girl did the most to cancel this dude. What do you think he did when he was going through this? He talked to his family about this. He talked to his friends about this.
So I'm going to say, hey, look, Rich, I thought you were my friend. Quit talking to my mom. Let me have a conversation.
Wait, Rich is talking to your mom?
He talks to her like every day.
That's bizarre.
It's very bizarre.
Right now, we can see how disloyal and disingenuous this guy is because he's talking shit about his ex-friend and family to Liz's friends who he doesn't know. He doesn't know any allegiance to them. He doesn't have fond memories with them. He has fond memories with his family and with his ex-friend Rich, who was there for him throughout his entire life and throughout the ups and downs of his many relationships. So I find it very comical that he wants to paint it as, I don't understand why they won't be on our side and bless us and bless my marriage to Liz. Because you talk shit about Liz and vice versa, she talks shit about you publicly. She wants the fame, she wants the come up, she doesn't want to go back to working tables at the restaurant. It's obvious.
What is going on with your mom and you?
So she kind of felt like, oh, you're picking Liz over me. I'm like, I'm picking me over me, and I'm in love with Liz.
I pick me over me. I pick my higher self over my current self. Is that what he was going for? Or is he just trying to tell the audience that he's selfish, something that we already know? It's funny because every season he doesn't take his family's opinion into consideration and he expects them to be cool with all the decisions that he makes.
I had so many people telling me how I felt about Liz, and they wanted me to break up with her.
I don't like the fact that I feel like I'm being blamed for something. No. And I came you back into this relationship.
I think they actually deserve each other because they're both opportunists that constantly try to paint themselves in a good light. It's funny for Liz to say, I don't know why I'm being painted as the villain. Well, because you tried to cancel him and ruin his career. Like, that's why. They saw that. They didn't even need Ed to tell them about it or cry to them about it, which I'm sure he did. I'm sure he cried to his family and was like, I can't believe she's doing this after everything I did for her. I paid for her meal. She doesn't have any money and I financially supported her. The funniest part about Liz is that she does the most on social media to try and convince everyone that she's a good mother. If you were a good mother, you wouldn't be in this toxic relationship with Ed. You wouldn't be prioritizing your social media come up from being on the show with Ed over finding a suitable and stable partner to be a good father figure for your child. Liz says to the audience, in the past when Ed and I would break up, he would talk about our problems to everybody and I always looked like the bad person.
I feel sorry for your sexual assault victim because now I do believe her.
If anyone has any reason why Spineless should not marry Necklace, speak now or forever hold your peace. Madge's daughter pulls up, plays this clip right here.
I feel sorry for your sexual assault victim because now I do believe her.
You believed his sexual assault victim so much that you want to walk down the aisle and marry this guy. Interesting. You guys know that TikTok sound that's like, I'm in love with a criminal, she's in love with a predator.
You know, your friends, I know, are there to protect you. I think he somehow feels he's protecting me, but from what?
You're not a good person. Your friends enable your behavior.
Probably that right there.
Later that night, little Edward drives over to a park to meet up with his former friend Rich. While driving there, Ed admits to the audience that he finds it very strange that his friend Rich wanted to meet up at night in a park, and I agree with him. It seems like the perfect place to arrange for Necklace to get jumped and stomped out. Next, we see Rich and Ed come face to face, and Rich says to the audience, I think Liz is an opportunist. She's not here for the right reasons, and that was my initial reaction when they got engaged. This right here is why me and a lot of the audience like Rich. He's a straight shooter. Forget Honest Dave. I'm gonna start calling him Honest Rich. In fact, last time on the tell-all, he told everybody that Ed and Liz are both selfish, insecure human beings, and I agreed with that as well.
I know you want me to be happy for you, like that, but are you sure, Ed? Like, this is the person you want to be with? This person that tried to destroy you, that tried to take you down?
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was Aegon Targaryen who said, hurt people, hurt people. A bit cliche of a saying, but it's a perfect example of Ed and Liz's relationship.
Well, Richard, what about what I did to her? I mean, I broke up with her 8 times via text.
I know that.
I know.
Oh, bet. Group activity time. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments, but would you rather have someone break up with you 8 times or try to convince the entire world that you are in fact a predator and leak private phone conversations that you had during your relationship? Ed's argument is, I hurt her too, Richard. Well, why would you want to be with somebody that you can't trust and has already hurt you a bunch in the past? It doesn't make sense.
I mean, I was a head.
Right.
I was a head.
And I told you you were too, along the way too.
But in my heart, that's after 6 months of therapy.
Oh, therapy. There it is. The classic Big Ed going to therapy. What about in season 1, before he inflicted all that damage on Liz, when he told the audience that he's a changed man? I'm not the same Edward that was mean to Rosemary Vega and used her for sex and was a creepy little sex tourist. I'm a changed man. Yet, this is how he talked to Liz.
I don't give a fuck, Liz. You're fucked up. You are fucked up in the head.
I choose Liz. That's it, and you can't accept it. I'm choosing her over everyone.
Flashback time. Do you guys remember in the first season we met this guy? He said, I gave up my relationship with my daughter that I love so much for you, Rose. He is so quick to disregard the opinions of friends and family, people that genuinely care about him. And we can really see it by how he's trying to paint it like his mom gave him an ultimatum. Like she's not talking to him because he's with Liz. That's funny to me because he's the one that places all the ultimatums on people.
My mom doesn't accept her. My daughter doesn't accept her.
What about your mom right now?
Mom's giving me the guilt trip. I'm like, look, Mom, I love you.
Your mom called me yesterday.
She calls and you talk to her every day. Don't you think that's kind of weird?
Counter argument, don't you think it's weird that you go for girls your daughter's age or younger? That seems weird to me and a lot of people. I think that Rich is genuinely concerned about you because he thinks that you guys are real friends, and he's checking in with your mom because your mom's heartbroken about this. The fact that you're with somebody that tried to destroy you and smear your name. Of course your mom's concerned about you in this relationship with Liz because your mom loves you. And ultimately, like, forget all the social media shit, forget me, forget all the people that are commenting on your life because you made your life public by going on the show. Ultimately, their loyalty is to you.
Until you're ready to accept my choice and Liz, I can't be around you.
I'm still your friend, bro. We've been friends for 16 years, and I don't just drop you like that.
Ed's so quick to drop people, he did the same thing to his fiance.
A few inches later.
Ed went to talk to Rich, and I don't know what to expect. I'm not ready for Rich to come back into Ed's life.
You're my priority.
For me right now, I'm not okay with him.
Karma's coming for Ed. It seems like Liz is mirroring his behavior and wants him to isolate himself from his best friend of 16 years because that way he'll be easier to control. As a viewer of the show, I'm happy that Ed ended up with Liz and not with Rose because he would have dimmed Rose's light, and Liz hasn't found her spark yet.
Every time he's always hung out with Rich, he always broke up with me. I don't think that Ed ever really thought for himself in the past. So it scares me. It makes me panic.
Let me know what you guys think in the comments, but I disagree with Liz here. I don't think Ed is easily influenced by other people's opinions. I think that he uses people as scapegoats and he plays both sides. Like when he was with his family, he was talking shit about Liz. When he's with Liz, talking shit about his family and his daughter and everybody else. When Ed broke up with Liz and then a couple days later went to Las Vegas to bang other sleuths, he didn't do so because his friend Rich told him to do so. He did so because he wanted to put his shrimp in another can.
Anytime Ed and I would try to talk about something, it was always, well, Rich said this, or Rich thinks this. Got to the point where I'm like, am I dating you or am I dating Rich? So I'm very uneasy with Rich's motives to still kind of try to tear us apart.
This dude caused these family problems himself by talking shit about everyone in his inner circle to each other. On this season, I find it comical that they're going for the narrative that Ed is the bad guy and Liz is the victim and he has to earn back her trust and he has to constantly meet all of her friends and they have to test him and make sure that he's a changed man now.
Your conditioner, your groomer. I feel sorry for your sexual assault victim because now I do believe her.
After all the shit that Liz talked about Ed publicly, there is no way his family will ever accept her.
I only want your acceptance, your daughter's acceptance, and Leon's.
Leon's their new dog they got because Teddy died. Ed often uses animals to try and distract the audience from what a piece of shit he is. Ed says to the audience, "It's really hard losing Rich as a friend, but I'm luckier to have Liz." Ed then cuddles Liz in their bed and tells her that he chooses her. You got a little Ash and Pikachu moment right now. Lizachu must be the luckiest girl in the world because out of all his options, he chose her. What about how Ed was ready to propose to Kaori and she wasn't about it? But I wonder what that's like for Liz, knowing that you're about to walk down the aisle with someone and you weren't the first option. The next day, Liz and Ed go to grab coffee and meet up with one of her friends. Turns out it's a guy friend and he gives Liz a big bear hug and Ed just watches in the corner because he's on camera. He doesn't want to act out, but I'm sure he's going to say something passive aggressive to her later.
I just hope I don't have to body slam him. I'm just kidding.
This dude is built like a Voltorb. How much damage could a necklace body slam really inflict? My advice for Liz is to join a UFC gym because there's no way Ed could physically stop somebody. Like, let's say worst case scenario, a robber breaks in. What's he gonna do?
So I want all the dirt on this one.
No, Liz is awesome. She's pretty great.
But if there's someone who knows me pretty well, it's very.
Weird way to start a conversation, but no wonder he wants dirt on Liz because she got plenty on him.
There's a whole video, and I'm not going to release it, but...
Liz, tell me a little bit about you. My dad was in the Air Force.
Also, I was in the Marine Corps.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
My dad was in the Air Force. No one asked you, civilian rat. I say that as a civilian. Liz told me so much about you that I forgot what branch of the military you were in because I wasn't paying attention because I only care about myself. Does Ed not know that all the branches of the military talk shit about each other? Like, one of my best friends is a Marine and he thinks that the Air Force are a bunch of pussies. I know that they're not, but it's just funny. And then Navy jokes. Yo, Malik has such good Navy jokes.
So, Semper Fi, right?
Yeah.
What does that mean, Semper Fi?
Always faithful.
Always faithful.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you don't know nothing about that, Ed. These do have nothing to talk about. It's so awkward right now.
Question for you, Ed. This, getting back together, what does make this different?
To be honest, I haven't been in a serious relationship in 30 years.
Are we surprised, though, that Ed doesn't acknowledge the relationships he had with Rose and Kaori as serious relationships? We all know that if either one of those girls were as desperate as Liz, he would already be married to one of them. This dude has never treated a woman right, and we can really see that by how he cheated on his pregnant wife. In 30 years, I've never had a serious relationship. He said that every season that this guy's been on, right? Like, he keeps repeating that line when it's like, we've seen you 4 seasons on the show already, bud.
I love her. I want to take care of her. Like, I bought her a new car. Oh, yeah.
Now I really want to see the videos and the dirt that Liz has on Ed. If he bought her a car, he probably said some foul shit to her. The way he's been acting so far in this season screams blackmail. Ed drank a lot of liquid, so he gets up to use the restroom, but he calls it the potty.
I'm gonna go use the potty. I gotta go potty. She hates when I say
I
that.
hate when I'm like, let's use big words.
Oh, okay. When Ed's in the potty, Liz and her friend talk about how her relationship feels different this time around, and Ed is treating her better.
I've never been happy the way that I'm happy now.
Good.
And He's made me grow, actually, too.
Since I started blackmailing Ed, he hasn't been toxic. In fact, he's been treating me like a queen, and rightfully so, because I have every text message saved. I have all the phone conversations saved. I know what he did, and I know what a piece of shit he is. So if he steps out of line, I'm gonna leak all of that.
Liz's friend Alex wants to have some professional photos done, and I'm a professional photographer. I did it for about 18 years.
Liz quit working at the restaurant because Ed put her on scholarship, but she still wants to have some kind of hobby, so he takes her under the wing and they go to photo shoot a model together because Ed's a D-list photographer in San Diego and he wants to pass on his ways of pervy photography to Liz so that he has an air for his craft.
I think it's possible that Ed does like photography because he does get to flirt with women. I just really thought that he'd be engaging more with me.
To be fair, there's some truth to what Liz is saying here about Ed using photography to make women feel uncomfortable by flirting with them. It's group activity time. Right now, let's take a look at Little Edward's photography studio's Yelp reviews. His photography is mediocre. He does not understand lighting and the photos can speak for themselves. It's tacky and unprofessional looking. This little guy only does photography to lure young women into his studio. He tells women to bear it all for artistic purposes. It's sickening how many men are out here prying on people. I'd do anything to make this place a safer world for myself and every other woman. Instead of learning the arts of photography, he just pretends he knows what he's doing in order to glance at girls. Why stop at one Yelp review, you guys? Isn't this fun group activity? Let's read another one. Had a review reported and taken down after speaking on the type of person Ed Brown is. In lieu of getting this one taken down, I will keep it business related. Ed Brown is not the person you should hire to take pictures. He is extremely unprofessional, will be inappropriate with you if you are a lady in her 20s. Take your business elsewhere to someone that deserves it and respects their clients and not looks at them like an opportunity for a date. Last one we're gonna read is from a girl named Megan. Completely unprofessional and creepy. Steer clear of this groomer photographer, please. Ed is awfully horrible as a person and his attitude sucks towards anything that doesn't fit into what he wants. You do not matter, only him. Go elsewhere with your money and give it to someone with some actual talent and a moral compass who won't prey on you if you are a young woman. This guy just uses what little power he has to treat humans like garbage while acting like he's excused of any horrible treatment he inflicts on others. Plot twist, how funny would it be if all these reviews were written by Liz?
All right, well, that's kind of cute. Do that again. Okay, nice. Okay, kind of lean into it, kind of just have some fun, play with the camera.
Right now, Ed's hyping up the model as he should because that's what photographers do, and Liz is getting really butthurt about this.
There's like a vertical line right through her eyebrow, through the kind of the front of her chest. I look for a line. That's my style, not yours. But you might find different things that work for you.
It looks like she has no neck.
Like she doesn't have a neck. Oh man, that's too good because he doesn't have a neck, so his style is making the girls look like they don't have a neck. That's so funny. Liz is being kind of unprofessional here, right? Like if I'm the model and someone said that it looks like I don't have a neck, that might have hurted in my feelings.
No, it doesn't.
Well, like here. I mean, that's just my
No.
thought. It looks like...
Yeah, don't ever say that in front of her.
I actually agree with Ed here. You got to keep things professional. Right now, Liz should be thinking of him as her boss, not as her fiance. And I recommend for Liz that she actually takes a photography class before shadowing Ed because you can tell he's not used to teaching people.
The camera's set. You can just have fun.
I think that you didn't use your 2 ears
Yeah.
to listen.
Babe, you're the student. I'm training
You didn't train me. The whole time you were training her.
If you're shadowing someone and learning from them, you need to learn the art of shutting the fuck up and absorbing knowledge.
It took me 18 years to get here.
Well, you're not listening to how I feel.
You're not acknowledging my feelings. I know that the model is your friend, Liz, but this is a wildly inappropriate conversation to be having with Ed right now. You should wait until after the shoot to talk about feelings. It's just good business. Does anyone else find it funny that Liz is so butthurt and jealous? She storms off and Alex is looking at the photos like, oh, these are so cute.
Oh my gosh, stunning. Alex, I'll see you tomorrow. Okay.
Liz goes on to say to the audience, Ed doesn't care about my opinions, and I don't feel like Ed's being a good partner right now. This girl wants his validation so bad and she's wildly insecure. He's not your partner right now, he's your boss. Liz constantly acts on her own emotions and insecurities, and it makes her look very foolish. In the next episode, Ed says, at the shoot, you weren't my fiance, you were someone I was teaching my techniques to. Liz responds, you weren't talking to me, you were talking to her and showing off, I'm not your assistant. Liz is trolling, it's obvious she didn't take this seriously. Any other photographer would have fired her. Liz then adds that right right now she feels like dad is coming out and no one wants to sleep with their dad, and we're crossing from 90 Day Fiancé into Game of Thrones territory. It makes me uncomfortable. I'm sure it makes you uncomfortable. But as always, let me know what you guys thought about today's video. I'm gonna be making update videos about this couple and all the couples on the show. I'm also gonna be reviewing Love After Lockup. I love A Mama's Boy, but I draw the line at The Bachelor. I will not be reviewing The Bachelor. I don't care what anyone says to me. Guys, comment below, subscribe, leave your red, follow me on Twitch and Instagram right now.